4% of Americans believe the Earth is ruled by evil reptilians.
Pulled that face off, and beneath it was a reptile.
They're feeding off humanity. They've turned humanity into a slave race.
The reptilian hybrids have been known to shapeshift.
She started calling me a reptile.
She started attacking me.
Oh my God! He's dead!
Dying.
He's dead!
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
An alien race of 12 feet tall, blood-drinking reptilian humanoids secretly controls the world.
Pulled that face off, and beneath it was a reptile.
This guy, doesn't even look real.
This little tooth that sticks out here.
Fans claim they saw Justin Bieber turn into a giant reptile.
In simple terms, there is a predator race.
Allegations true that you're secretly a lizard? I'm gonna have to go with no.
Ted, this is bollocks.
Nah, bro. They're shapeshifters.
She said she pulled its face off. Why would it need a mask if it could shapeshift?
Some of them are hybrids, bro.
Yeah, this is clearly going to be a mad one. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
A lot of conspiracy theories claim there's some secret shadowy force clandestinely controlling world events.
Yep.
But who exactly is pulling the strings? The Freemasons? The Illuminati? To a small but vocal group, the culprits are lizards, extraterrestrial iguana-like creatures that eat people.
They're feeding off humanity. They've turned humanity into a slave race. They demand human sacrifice.
One small 2013 survey estimated around 4% of Americans believe the Earth is ruled by evil reptilians. And if you've personally never seen any lizard people walking around, well, that's because, as the theory goes, these aliens are shapeshifters.
Told you, bro. The Illuminati are reptilians. They feed off negative human energy.
You know, I never thought I'd say this to anyone, but you've smoked entirely too much reefer.
A former sports announcer from the UK is the granddaddy of today's reptilian lore. After declaring himself the son of God on television in 1991, Icke became a prolific writer on conspiracy theories and otherworldly topics. He introduced his version of the reptilian conspiracy in the 90s.
This extraterrestrial race interbred with humanity, creating hybrid bloodlines.
He said he's the son of God.
It was taken out of context, bro.
Well, now, let me get this story right. The press claim that you claim to be the son of God.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yes, you see, the thing is that it's quite funny, really. I'm delighted that there's so much laughter in the audience tonight.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine.
Ted, this guy's a nutter.
Nah, bro. They just didn't let him finish.
Do you claim to be the son of God? Because Terry Wogan said to you on the Wogan show, you claim to be the son of God, and you said yes.
Well, I am, yes, I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is we're all the children of God. But some people come to earth, Jesus was one, there were many more before him, who are actually part of the soul of the Godhead.
Ted, this is nonsense.
Look, bro, there's proof of reptilians.
Lizard hunters scour images of famous people, looking for moments when they accidentally drop their human disguises.
Two bottom teeth remind me of snake teeth.
Look at how the face lays on the head. What? This shit looks like whoa, what the
See the neck? See the ridges, the bone that comes all the way across, stops here. That's how much Bill Gates is a reptilian. He was just shape-shifting, growing a big-ass long tail.
Ted, these guys are nuts.
Trust me, bro. They're onto something.
Yeah, crack.
The first lizard conspiracy death was probably the 1999 murder of Girlie Chu Hasenkopf, a New Mexico bank teller.
To this day, her body has not been found.
Her estranged husband, Diesen Hasenkopf, and his new girlfriend were actually pro-reptilian, allegedly believing they'd be rewarded if they helped the aliens enslave humanity. Part of proving they were worthy involved killing Girlie Chu.
When you decide you're going to commit murder, you decide that you're going to trade your life for theirs. I did that.
The two killers, who were sentenced to life in prison, met at a David Icke conference.
Fucking hell, mate. This is starting to feel a bit culty.
It's because of Sherry Shriner, bro. She took it a bit too far.
Sherry Shriner was one of the most popular online reptile sleuths.
Poor woman who lives in the backwoods of Ohio, trying to save mankind and kill off the aliens.
But Shriner didn't just analyze celebrity faces. She was also a prophet of doom, an apocalyptic preacher spreading the reptile gospel to an audience of tens of thousands through platforms like Facebook and YouTube.
Look at YouTube, type in reptilian humans or reptilian shapeshifters or cloned humans, stuff I've been hammering about for over a decade.
According to her, not only were actors and world leaders secret serpents, but most humans, including your own friends and family, could not be trusted.
Most of the people we're looking at are fake. Out of every 4 humans, only 1 is real, has real human DNA.
Maybe the first sign that something was wrong was the death of Kelly Pengilly in 2012. The 22-year-old died of an apparent suicide, seeming to believe her demise would somehow aid Shriner's cosmic war against evil. Pengilly's loved ones blamed Shriner for their loss.
This is 100% a cult.
It's not a cult, bro. They were just crazy.
Things would really come to a head 5 years later in 2017, when one of Shriner's followers killed another.
911, where's your emergency?
He grabbed me and he told me, you press this trigger. Oh my God! He's dead!
Damn!
He's dead!
The woman convicted of what some called a cult murder is sentenced in Monroe County today.
I mean, it's crazy that they're saying this stuff about me. Reptilian man killer.
It all started when Shriner turned on Barbara Rogers, a follower.
She started calling me a reptile. She started attacking me because I wasn't worshiping her the way everybody else was. That's what she wanted, was worship.
This created a rift between Rogers and boyfriend Stephen Mineo, a major devotee of Shriner's.
Sherry Shriner really fucked my head up. I've been supporting her for 14 years. I had suicidal thoughts. I felt like killing myself over this.
On July 15, 2017, Rogers killed Mineo with his own gun.
He took the gun and started putting it into my hand. He goes, here, take it, point it at me. Point it. He just starts grabbing it, saying, put it in my hand. And he goes, point it at me and shoot it right now.
Rogers claimed Mineo wanted to kill himself and had dragged her into his suicidal moment. She was convicted of third-degree murder and sentenced to 15 to 40 years in prison.
Damn! This was just a one-off case, bro.
I doubt it.
Isaiah Gentry, an Arizona teen who stabbed his dad in 2020.
Fuck.
Police say Gentry told them he tried to kill his father because a, quote, shape-shifting reptile had taken over.
Or Bucky Wolf, who in 2019 claimed God told him his brother was turning into a lizard.
A 26-year-old Seattle man is in jail after prosecutors say he killed his brother Sunday night, stabbing him in the head with a sword.
Fucking hell.
Or Anthony Quinn Warner, who in 2020 set off a bomb in Nashville, Tennessee on Christmas Day, killing himself and injuring 8 others. Days before the bombing, he sent packages and letters to friends explaining his belief in lizard conspiracy theories.
Have I got to start sleeping with one eye open?
Nah, bro. These were just a few crazy people.
Mate, the geezer running it thinks he's the son of God.
Shitloads of people following, bro. They can't all be crazy.
Icke, these days, does these global speaking tours to thousands and thousands of people. He sells tons and tons of books, he makes documentaries, and appears on pretty big podcasts. He's basically our British knockoff version of Alex Jones.
Hey, no, wait, hang up. The field have always controlled the medic.
Told you, bro. Loads of people go to see him.
There was probably about 7 people there. What the fuck?
Told you, bro. The revolution's coming.
Vacuum! Vacuum!
Stand back, stand back.
Vacuum!
Yeah, he's going to move. He's going to move. He belongs to you to move.
To think that people used to laugh at me in the street once. Speak your truth and the world comes to you. Whoa, what a sight! I have dreamed of moments like this.
Can't believe there were so many people there.
People are waking up, bro.
I grew up on a council estate in Leicester where people didn't expect much more than go and work in a factory if they could get a job, because there were factories in those days. I never accepted that. I wanted to be a footballer. People said, oh, you never be a footballer. How many people are footballers? I said, I'm going to be a footballer. I played a whole year of league football with rheumatoid arthritis. That's a whole story in itself. I was in agony, and I played the season out, and eventually it got so bad that I couldn't carry on. In early 1990, I was working for the BBC, and I was staying at a hotel called the Kensington Hilton. I came back to the room, and I sat on the side of the bed. There was such a sense of a presence there, and I actually said into the room, if there's something there, would you please contact me, because you'll drive me up the wall. A few days later, I go into this newsagent shop, and all I heard, it wasn't a voice, it was a very strong thought form. It said, go and look at the books on the far side. I start walking across to the books in a daze, in total bewilderment. So I'm thinking, what am I going over here for? But right in the middle of these books was this one called Mind to Mind by a woman called Betty Shiner, and I saw the word psychic.
Ted, this guy seems like a grifter.
He's pretty good at predicting the future, bro.
What I've been saying now, way back in the 1990s, the idea is for this Third World War to involve Russia and China against the West. Yeah. A close aide of President Putin, who has special responsibility for Ukraine, has actually said this week that the United States is preparing for a war against Russia through Ukraine. It's a setup, and it's a setup to attempt to trigger World War III. World wars change worlds, and if you have a global agenda, then global problems allow you to offer global solutions. And if you look how the world was transformed by the First World War and the Second World War, the world was a completely different place after both of those wars. And the idea all along has been to have a Third World War to complete the transformation into a global state with a world government and a world army. Dictating to the global population. It's part of this long-term plan to take over the world by creating enormous chaos to which they can offer the order out of the chaos, their order, their new world order.
That interview was in 2014, bro.
Yeah, that was pretty on point.
If you don't see what's going on and refuse to cooperate with it, by very little time from now, you, your kids and grandkids are going to be living in a global fascist dictatorship of total 24-hour surveillance control.
Yep.
It all comes down in the end, in terms of these society-controlling institutions, to what I call the global cult, which is a global network of secret societies and semi-secret groups with ultimately, if you go deep enough in the rabbit hole, a mission control, a central organizational center. This explains why countries tend to respond to the same kind of situations in extraordinarily the same way. The thing is, if you're talking about control and the need to control, then you look at society as it's structured, and control is overwhelmingly dictated by money.
Yep.
Who has it and who doesn't. And if you look at a definition of freedom, well, it's choice. The more choices you can make, the freer you are. The fewer choices you can make, the less free you are.
Who's mission control for the Illuminati, Dad?
The Bilderberg Group, bro.
Politicians, some journalists who have a golden rule: you don't report what happened at the Bilderberg meeting. These are military people, intelligence people, many heads of major global corporations. And what the Bilderberg Group is a way of bringing these people together to form a common policy. And many of the people, most of the people that turn up have no idea what the big goal is. And a lot of these people come and go, and are never seen again. They're just useful in a short space of time. But then you have others like David Rockefeller, who has been involved in the Bilderberg Group from the start. Henry Kissinger, the same. These people span the whole period of the group's existence.
Couldn't we say that they were or are just some sort of a lobby group that are protecting their interests?
A lobby group for what is the question I would have. Is this not a lobby group for a certain company? Even a lobby group for a certain government? Why is it that for years it was even denied the Bilderberg Group even existed? They are a global elite which were to push human society into the direction of a global tyranny that would have made George Orwell wince.
The Bilderberg Group is sketchy as fuck, but I don't make them all lizards.
It's not just them, bro. It's the hybrids too.
The reptilian hybrids have been known to shapeshift temporarily into their reptilian form. So that's happened with 3 of them whom I know about. One of them, a beautiful hybrid living in England, her name is Charmaine. The way that she got confirmation that she is a hybrid was having an encounter with some of her reptilian extraterrestrials, and she has encounters with other types as well, and genetics from other types. But in one encounter when she was about age 27 with her reptilian extraterrestrials, they helped her to shapeshift into her total, pure reptilian form.
And she can do that, goes back and forth?
And she can go back and forth as she pleases. Mostly she's human.
Yeah.
And but when she shapeshifted into her reptilian form, she was absolutely delighted. Now, most of us might be rather horrified at the thought, but she was delighted because she had always felt some reptilian in her.
Identifying as a lizard don't make you a lizard.
Come on, bro. She actually shapeshifted.
We interviewed 8 people who we truly believe are ET human hybrids who are living here on Earth with us. And these are wonderful people, excellent people. We are just thrilled to know. So each of these hybrids was born here on Earth from a human mother and human father, but they were influenced to be hybrids in various ways. Each has a slightly different understanding of how they were created to be a hybrid. So some of them were created when they were normally in their mother's wombs, and the mother received injections from certain extraterrestrials, and the injections had in them various ET genetics. So that formed the fetus in the womb to be a hybrid, and in each case, these hybrids were born the normal way that we humans do birth procedures.
Who is this woman, Ted?
She's Barbara Lamb, bro. We should do an episode on alien abductions.
All our subjects come from you guys, so if there's anything you want us to cover, let us know in the comments.
When you think you're a victim, the victim vibe goes out, the victim circumstance goes in. When you say, hey, I'm not a victim, I'm in control of my life, I've created these circumstances I don't like, therefore I can create circumstances I do. At that point, the victim mentality's gone. Victim circumstances stop being attracted, and suddenly people come into your life who are just the people you need to get you out of the circumstances you don't like. And if you don't realize what's happening, and most of us don't at the time, we say, oh my poor mate, I was so lucky. This fella came into my life at just the right time, this person, I couldn't believe it. Amazing luck. No. You pulled them in because your state of being had changed and you synced with what you needed to get out of that situation. We are so in control of our destiny, it's unbelievable. And yet billions are persuaded they're not, and therefore they create a very different reality. If we're in fear, we can attract a reflection of fear. But when we emit love, we create a very different energy, therefore we create a very different reality.
I actually think everything he said there is true.
I knew as soon as he talked about simulation theory, you'd start listening.
Royal family, British royal family, Dutch royal family, all that stuff, all major players in this. So what do the gods get out of it? I take you back to the first Matrix movie, and the Morpheus character holds up a battery and he says, the Matrix is a computer-generated dream world designed to turn humans into one of these, a battery. These, quote, gods, these entities are feeding off human energy, but it's a particular type of human energy. Every time we feel emotion, every time we think, we're generating frequencies. And those frequencies, in terms of what the frequencies are, relate to the nature of the emotion and the nature of the thought. And scientists have worked out what these frequencies are for different emotions, right? These entities, by their very nature, are very low vibrational in nature, because anyone that wants to impose their will and manipulate and cause suffering and war and death and destruction is in a very low vibrational state. And if they're going to feed off human energy, they can only feed off it if we are delivering it within the band of frequency they can absorb.
We could be in a simulation, but why would someone put lizards in charge of it?
They made the simulation, bro.
Other beliefs and religious beliefs talk about the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail, which is symbolic of this limit, this ring past not. And so it becomes clear to me that the trap is much bigger than just the manipulation of this reality that we call the human world. Goes beyond that, well beyond that. So you come into this world to learn lessons, but what happens? You suffer from emotional and mental traumas and challenges. It pulls you into depression, into anxiety, fear, the four-letter word that controls the world, and if actually controls the simulation in all its forms.
No, I refuse to believe all of this is for feeding a bunch of lizards.
Why do you think there's a reptile in every creation myth, bro?
In the United Kingdom, an estimated 112,853 children are reported missing every year. In the United States, an estimated 460,000 children are reported missing every year.
In the human realm, we have what I call the global cult, which is a global network of secret societies, which at its core is interacting with these entities. And a lot of the children end up in these underground bases. And let's just say these entities use them as food and leave it at that in people's imagination.
Ted, this guy's telling stories to sell books.
Nah, bro. That's what they do at Bohemian Grove.
There are entities just outside of human sight which are feeding off low vibrational human energy. It's their sustenance. It's their energetic source. So what they've done is created a world, which I say is a simulation, which is manipulating human perceptual emotional states into low vibrational frequency states. None of this stuff that's going on today has just begun. So it had to be going on way back in what we call history. And therefore I thought the ancients must have mentioned it. And of course, they didn't just mention it, they practiced it. You take a child, or you take an adult, because they sacrifice adults as well, and you put them in this terrifying situation where they're surrounded by these people in robes and hoods, and there's candles and colors and chants and all this stuff. The entity is drawing off the energy of the child. I've not just heard this once or twice. I've not just heard this in the West. I've heard this all over the world.
You said that owl at Bohemian Grove was Moloch, who is also a bull, and now is a simulation lizard.
They make him an owl and a bull so we don't realise he's actually a lizard.
You need to start thinking before you speak.
Most of the globe is under a capitalist system.
No, it's not. They're a cartelist system. They are cult companies. They were created with cult money, which was limitless. And so what happens is they are built up to become monopolists. And in their developmental period, they are allowed to lose loads of money. Look at Amazon, for goodness sake. Loads of money, year after year, phenomenal amounts of money, because they're building a monopoly. And they are competing against other companies. You could call them genuinely capitalist companies that have entrepreneurs that are using their creativity. But those other companies they're competing with do have to watch the bottom line. They can't go on losing money year on year on year. And so they are under a tremendous disadvantage to these coal companies that have limitless cash flow.
You know he's right, bro.
Yeah, but even a broken clock's right twice a day.
The end game is to connect artificial intelligence to the human brain and the human senses, so that our perceptions come direct. And this is not me sitting here pulling it out of the ether. These are the words of people like Ray Kurzweil, the Google executive and so-called futurist. And Ray Kurzweil said that by 2030, which is a big year for them, so many things come into 2030, artificial intelligence will be attached to the human brain and will do, from that point, more and more human thinking until human thinking is basically negligible. The connection of AI to the human brain is nanotechnology. If you want to connect the human, a human body, everybody, to the cloud, then you have to have the cloud on every inch of the planet. Now, you can put up your towers everywhere, and you can do the urban areas and what have you, but you can't do every inch of the planet. To do that, you need low orbit satellites. People are starting to see this now. And the cameras going up everywhere. Well, the cameras are not going up for you, Les. I mean, in part they are, of course. They're going up to police these 15-minute communities where eventually you'll only be allowed out with permission.
We're not all going to have to connect to an AI cloud, mate. But the 15-minute cities are definitely something to worry about.
We won't have a choice, bro. There's nanotechnology in the dust from cloud seeding.
Look up IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Write down 802.15.6. You know what that number is? That's the network code. That's y'all code that they tap into. 802.154, 802.155, and 802.156. They adhere to you using smart dust, chemtrails. Any of y'all got cars? It's a clear day. You look at your windshield. You're like, what's all this stuff on my windshield? It won't come off. They adhere to you using smart dust and proceed to electrify the air molecules, conjuring a wireless sensor network. Networks of spatially dispersed and dedicated sensors are formed, and in a surprising twist, the towers aren't managing the networks. Your DNA is. Thanks to the enigmatic power of optogenetics. Look at the diagram.
We know the tech exists, bro. What makes you think they're not using it?
I'll find out where that diagram came from before getting too worried, mate.
I'm creating glasses that give you superhuman memory. Let me show you. So this is the frame. It's a pair of smart glasses that I programmed to do one simple thing, and that is take a photo of what I'm looking at every 15 minutes so I can make an AI that knows everything about my life. And the result looks something like this: a timeline of my entire life with AI written descriptions about every single moment. My brain is now searchable. So let's say I've been trying to remember the name of this cool restaurant I went to 2 weeks ago. I can just ask this AI, it's gonna search through all of my memories, and it's going to give me an answer. It even has the photo of the exact moment when I was inside that restaurant. That is freaking cool. Now imagine having access to this technology if you have Alzheimer's, or if you're like me and you forget everything. Superhuman memory is possible. You just gotta wear glasses all the time and give me all of your data.
See? They just want your data, bro.
He's joking, Ted. I actually think this could really benefit some people.
You're crazy, bro. They're trying to turn us into cyborgs. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Yeah, huge thanks to everyone who's donated to the channel. You guys are paying for the candles.
Yeah, shout out man like Callahan, Mr. Gorgeous out in Sweden, Riacus, ICU, and Brother Roadlock again. And of course, the OG Matt Valencourt.
If you guys want to donate to the candle fund, you'll find a super thanks right next to the like button.
Mary Jane Valentine made a miniature Sackhead, bro.
It's so cool to know that this exists in the world. It's amazing. Miniatures and dioramas are right up our alley, so it's so cool that you made it.
Go check out Mary Jane Valentine Designs on Instagram. She does some amazing miniatures for sale.
If any of you guys have a small business you think our audience would be into, drop us a message on Instagram and we'll shout it out.
Don't worry, you're never gonna have to hear some bullshit legal advice or about a random app on this channel.
Yeah, fuck all that. We want you guys to be able to just sit back and enjoy the show, not have to show through dead sales pitches. And on that note, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.